Hi, welcome back. This is Ivana Pastrenia on part 2 of Twin Hearts. We previously completed the invocation, Twin Hearts part 1 on the Great Invocation, and now we are moving on to the second part of Twin Hearts, which is activation of the heart and crown. These two centers are really important and the major parts of Twin Hearts, and they actually facilitate the magnetism that comes with Twin Hearts. I don't know if many of you are aware of the purpose of Twin Hearts and its meanings. The major three aspects, or the major three components, importances of Twin Hearts are: one, it is used to magnify your wishes, and you do this by activating the heart and the crown as centers, vehicles to materialize what you want. So the second part of this meditation is quite vital to your deeper understanding of the whole power of Twin Hearts. Now, Twin Heart is used to make your wishes magnetize so they are fulfilled. The more wishes you have fulfilled in your life, the happier you will be. And after 18 years of practicing Twin Hearts regularly, I see the blessings in my life on many levels, and I see the fruition that has taken place. I remember Master Choa Sui saying to me, probably 2004, 2005, that you won't see the results now, but you'll see them in 10, 20, 30 years' time. And I didn't understand back then. I was only 5, 6 years into practicing pranic healing and Ahadic yoga. And he explained to us that day in that hall in Burnley in Melbourne how the fruits of the work will be seen 10 to 20 years later. And I obviously am an example of seeing the fruits of what he's talking about. So that's the materialization of your wishes. Twin Hearts is a magnetic tool to draw into your life for fulfilling your wishes. The second part of Twin Hearts, and that fulfilling your wishes is part of activating the heart and the crown. The second part of activating the heart and the crown in the part 2 of the Twin Hearts is when you focus on the point of light in the crown. That's the second part. First you focus on the heart, then you focus on the crown. Actually, let me reverse that. We'll focus on the heart first. When you focus on your heart and activate your heart, you're actually activating the seeds in your heart. Some of you who are already practitioners, pranic healers, Ahadic yogis, will know about the seeds in the heart and the crown and so forth. When you actually do activate your heart center, there is a seed that's activated, and it does carry your destiny. If you're gifted enough clairvoyantly, you'd be able to see over years of practice your destiny and what road you are to take. That's by activating of the heart. Now, if you look at the crown part, the point of light, so when you focus on the crown, you activate the crown, you can actually invoke and ask, and Master Choa Sui's words were, please God, allow my crown to open so that greatness will come through. So what he means by that, as you activate your crown, the gifts from your soul, the siddhis, as they use in the Hindu language, I think it's siddhis, will come through and materialize in your life. Your gifts that you've carried from previous incarnations, may they come forward. That is on the crown center. The heart is about the destiny of your current life and moving forward where you are and what directions you'll take. So activating the heart and activating the crown is really important, and they have a very deep meaning. So those two things are really important. So these are the purposes of Twin Hearts: to magnetize to you what is good for you and your family, your work, your health. Second, to bring your gifts of your previous lives into this incarnation. And third, to see your destiny and the roads you're to take. I remember Master's words once. He goes, what's the point going, through the Amazon, I think it was he was referring to, going through the jungle, blindly cutting through the bush when you can see directly where you have to go. So that's what he's referring to about the heart. You look directly where you have to go. And that comes with the practice of Twin Hearts on a regular basis. Okay, so we'll move into the parts of Twin Hearts. where his words from the meditation of Twin Hearts is, he focuses, so you've got your tongue to the palate at this point, we've already invoked. Recall a happy event. And he says, take your time, recall a happy event. Re-experience exquisite feelings of sweetness, of tenderness, and of love. You are smiling, you are filled with love and happiness. Now, this purpose of focusing on love and happiness is to activate the heart center. Now, the heart center has a being in it, as we've already spoken about, and it also has the seeds of your destiny. So the being of love is actually love, sweetness, and you need to send love and sweetness to your heart. It actually heals the heart, even on a physical level. Gently smile at your heart center. Gently, gently, because the heart's a very sensitive area. Now, this activation of the heart, in terms of the chakra, will produce pink and gold for very highly evolved souls. Those who are starting out, the colors may vary. Your heart center is a being of love. Now, there is an actual being inside your heart. You need to become conscious that these chakras are carrying beings. So you have this kingdom, right? You're in this kingdom, this temple that you carry. Your soul carries the body, the temple. And these subtle bodies, these chakras running in the front of you, on the sides and the back, actually have subtle beings. And sometimes we neglect these subtle beings. In fact, most people aren't even conscious that they have a being on their heart. And the only time people really feel some kind of pain on their heart is when they've had a broken heart and they feel pain. That is the physical manifestation of the heart, but energetically it happens first. So the being is hurting, and you need to pay attention to that and heal it. That's why we have pranic healing. Okay, gently and lovingly smile at your heart. So when you smile at the heart, you're actually activating the heart center. You're actually activating the heart. Now, what happens with Twin Hearts? As you practice, at the beginning, your heart gets stretched. It's like an elastic bag. It gets stretched a little as you're doing the blessings, right? But then you go back to normal life, work, stresses, family matters, and so on, and the heart may shrink. Then you come back to Twin Hearts and it stretches again. Then you go away and it shrinks. But eventually, over time, over years of practices, that stretching, the muscle, the spiritual muscle of the heart center will expand and expand, and the being will become naturally more happy. And in your own life, you'll become more happy, more fulfilled. That is the manifestation of the heart center. The fulfillment, even with nothing around you, you're just happy. Now your heart center is a being of love. Gently and lovingly smile at your heart. Say words of love and sweetness to your heart. Wait for the response. Now he says wait for the response, which means go silent and actually start to feel your heart center. So we're moving into working on the subtle bodies. If you look at Twin Hearts, it's very profound when he says wait for the response. He's talking about the subtle entity, the subtle being in your heart. Listen to the words or the voice or the sound of that being. Can you feel your heart center responding with love, with joy and bliss? The feeling is fantastic. Now that feeling is bliss, that feeling is love. That's what Twin Hearts gives you. Over time, as you practice more and more, it'll become stronger. Then he moves into recall another happy event, re-experience this happy event. Now a happy event doesn't actually have to be anything great. Some people who are just starting out on the path, who are just commencing to meditate, or who are just had a crisis in their life and decided to look at God or Spirit for answers, which is generally the case why people get pulled into spirituality. It's like you get a kick up to get moving. So they come in and they're a bit broken, or they've got problems, or they're physical, emotional, financial, and they do Twin Hearts. In the beginning, it's really hard to be in a blissful state and feel the love because of all the stress factors in the outside world happening to them, and the thought forms and the energies that are in their aura that sometimes are not so pleasant to experience. So I understand people who are starting out to Twin Hearts. Sometimes you can't even concentrate for 2 minutes. You go so distracted because there's so many mind thoughts and loop thoughts in the aura that it's very hard to get centered and even feel the space of love and bliss. But the purpose is to recall a happy event, and Master Child focuses on this in Twin Hearts. Recall another happy event. Why? Because that happy event shifts you away from that negativity or that unsettled energy in you and makes you focus on the positive, because it's only through the positive energy that the light can enter and concretize in you and spread throughout the world as you being a channel for it. So the shift has to happen energetically. So the recalling of a happy event can be smelling a rose. It can be looking at the sunshine, swimming in the sea on a hot summer's day. You made love to your partner and it was ecstatic. You went for a bike ride, rock climbing. You were flying somewhere and you were looking out at the clouds and the plane, saying, wow, how beautiful it is. You were watching a sunset with your friends. You were dancing with your friends. You just had great success making a lot of money in a business deal. Something that makes you really happy. Something that fulfills you, and you have to look for it. If you find it hard to think of one event, try and see what's around you that fulfills you. Maybe it's just holding your baby in your arms, or just being still, listening to the wind. So that's really important to get to that space. Then he moves on to say, your crown center is a being of divine love. Say words of love to this being of divine love. So you've shifted your energy from the heart up above to the crown. Now this is a form of alchemy. You're moving the heart energy up into the crown. You're activating the crown. This is a form of Ahadic yoga, one of the levels. Twin Hearts actually has a part to it that is in the higher levels of Ahadic yoga. I can't go into more details, but that you'll see the power of this meditation is more than meets the eye. It actually is very profound. So there's an alchemy going on. You're shifting the lower, denser energies and moving them up into the higher spheres, from lead to gold in some sense. But we won't look at alchemy right now. Your crown center is a being of divine love. Say words of love of being to the divine love. We've said that. We are going to bless the earth with loving kindness. Very gently touch your heart center with your left hand. Raise your hand at above chest level with your palms facing outwards. Now remember Master Child's words when he said to bless the earth, your palms face outwards. But it's also important, if you can see, my shoulder stays up and open, because if you push the arms down when you're doing Twin Hearts, you're blocking the energy flow from the crown down out through your arms and outwards. You need to keep the space, yeah? You need to keep the arms up. So it's like a hose. You know when you have a hose and the water's pouring through and you bend the hose and the energy, the water can't continue to flow. It's the same thing through our energy systems. We're like massive tubes, like massive donuts, like massive hoses. You can't bend us too much, the energy will stop. So you need to keep your arms up when you bless, yeah? And quite loose in front of you, in front of your chest. The palms have to go outwards towards the earth, the small ball of the earth, yeah? Okay, so gently touch your heart with your left hand. Raise your hands at about chest level with your palms facing outwards. Now, this is you activating the heart and the crown simultaneously, focusing on both centers with your palms facing outwards, focusing on the energy coming out of the palms. This is the activation of the heart and the crown centers. Over time, these will be activated together as you practice more and more. It will be an automatic response. Even when you're just standing at a bus stop or talking to someone at a bar or something and you just feel like doing a 2-minute Twin Hearts really fast, you'll raise your hands and the activation is there automatic. It's like an automatic system, like riding a bike after a while. You can use this method and it instantaneously stimulates the centers, activates light coming in, and the angels are coming close to you and blessing whatever is needed around you. Thank you for listening. I hope this has helped. This is the activation of the heart and the crown. And I look forward to the next part of the meditation that we'll be moving into, which is St. Francis of Assisi's prayer, which is most potent, very profound and deep from an esoteric point of view. I will see you soon. Thank you.